What is going on, guys? This is Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and we are finally here. We're talking Boku No Hero Academia Season 4.
Shall we begin? Let's begin.
So, Boku No Hero Academia, I am a pretty big fan of it. I really enjoyed the hell out of this series when it first started, and then I haven't read the manga, so I've just been anime only for this series. But the last 3 seasons have been solid, and then I actually did watch the film in Regal Theater, which I thought was okay. But how do I feel about Season 4 overall? I thought it was good. I also thought it was rocky. We have a lot of new characters, and one of my favorite characters is Miru, or La Million. I really like this character, even though he kind of looks like Volt Boy from Fallout, but I really love this character. He's charming, smiling, like this is a hero that I kind of want to be a villain. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So overall the season has the overhaul arc, I would like to call it. Overhaul is this villain. He's all in all, he's a Yakuza kind of character, which I think Overhaul is a great villain to start off in the first act of this, or the first half of this season. And that's where it got me. See, the first half of the season was absolutely entertaining. It was entertaining. There was something to do. There was a goal. It never felt like, it was a proper pace. I think the problem with Boku no Hero Academia overall this season was the pacing of it. I do think, for long anime series, yes, 24 episodes can work, but with Boku no Hero Academia this season, I felt like the season should have been shorter and the pacing would have been much better, and I'll get to that in a minute. Now let's talk about the first half. I like to call it the first half because this is just like Sword Art Online, where to me, I like maybe one half of it, but then the other half just felt like it was a big kind of either letdown or just wasn't as good. And I felt like this season was super similar to that. I like to call it the rescue arc. So basically they have to rescue this little girl named Eri, and Eri is being absolutely abused. So we find out why Eri is super important throughout the season and what her relationship to Deku and Mirio and all the other people who are fighting to really kind of like help her to be that hero that she needs, right? I think the weakest part this season was actually kind of Deku. As much as I like Deku, I just find Deku as the protagonist. I don't find him as, why does he, in my mind, why does he have to be the greatest superhero of all time? Why couldn't he be one of the greatest superheroes of all time, but he has to be the greatest superhero of all time? And I'm kind of getting sick and tired of that for protagonists. I want to see something a little bit changed up, a little different. I love Deku. I've always said in my videos, that's my boy Deku. It's just, it seems like, yes, he's a gentle soul, but there's really no personality to him. And when I mean personality, yes, he smiles, he interacts really good with the characters, he's very smart, but is he very memorable? Now, when it comes to shonen, I mean, you have, of course, Goku, you have Naruto, and this is the same template that they use. But the problem is that these characters have a trait or just something that you could hold on to. So down 20 years down the line, you know what Naruto is all about. You know what Goku, you saw their struggle, you saw their journey. Now, Deku still has a lot of room for that. And this season gives you a little bit of that. I mean, he's still training, he's still trying to harness his power that All Might gave him. And there's that question is, does he deserve it? I think the other characters that this season brought in. Now, Night Eye in this season was actually pretty dope. Now, Night Eye was a former sidekick of All Might, and Night Eye is actually a pretty dope character. I didn't know what I was gonna feel. This guy was gonna be strict, he has that aura around him. This character I've seen pretty much a million times, but I actually grew to really like Night Eye, and I think it was a good move for Deku to seek him out. Night Eye's relationship with Deku is one of the most interesting things about this season. I think it really brings out a lot of I think Night really challenges Deku as a character, which I absolutely love. And then his relationship with All Might, that was the mysterious thing about it, is why was he not All Might's sidekick? And I thought that first half, exploring that element to it and learning Night Eye's quirk, you could see through to the future at some point, but you can only use it on one person, was really, really good, especially with the end of this first half. Him as a character really blew my mind how much I actually really did enjoy him. Don't expect Bakugo or Todoroki, sorry, butchering his name, Todoroki. See, they're like Brad Pitt. They were kind of cast away. Yes, you see them here and there, but they weren't really the focal point at all this season, which I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed in. You really get more of the focus of, you know, Ochika, my girl, a little bit of Froppy, which I absolutely love. I think you need to bring her up a little bit more on a pedestal. Give her a little bit more screen time, please. Mirio is a really good, very entertaining character. It seems like he should have got All for One instead of Deku, but as we go along the season, you know why All Might pick Deku. But Mirio seems like the person who should have been destined for that quirk, and he has a badass quirk himself. Yet that's not the case. This is not his story. This is Deku's. But I think Mirio is going to have a very big role to play down the line. Like I said, I don't read the manga, but I think he is. I think he's a character that just screams, you know, to be in the spotlight a little bit, even though he's he's a gentle soul himself like Deku. It's just he brings more presence to it other than Deku. But like I said, Deku has a lot of growth to happen, which I would love a time skip or something like that soon. So what I really like about Boku No Hero Academia Season 4 is, like I said in my previous comments, is the overall detail to these heroes, these villains, especially the villains, especially Overhaul's villains, especially the quirks. I mean, there's really great details. There's really great consequences when it comes to using these powers. Like I said, I view this as kind of like X-Men, honestly. And I think they do a fantastic job to really bring in a lot of different ideas. Like when heroes are introduced and the commentaries go into play and they talk about this one particular character, you really get the sense of like, holy crap, man, like they really take their time with each and every character, their character costumes, their character design, and also, I mean, the voice acting is always legit. Overall, having a distinguished difference between everybody else. And there's so many characters in this show. However, there's a problem I have with Boku No Hero Academia, and that's what the problem I had with the freaking movie. Holy moly, how many times am I gonna get a flashback? Am I gonna get fucking a character talking about the previous episode when there is no need? A lot of episodes with the flashback and with them talking, it takes at least like 10 minutes out of the goddamn episode. It is so frustrating. I'm so sick and tired of watching a Boku No Hero Academia episode and then them just talking about the previous episode or what already happened. Please, you're not... Dragon Ball did the same thing. Okay, they have these long-lasting battles, the similar combinations, similar fight choreograph, because it probably used the same kind of scene, and they had the narration over after each episode. This is why Boku No Hero Academia, to me, is really close to Dragon Ball, because it's super entertaining. But let's talk about the second half. So the first half was great. It had a nice little goal story to it. I mean, there was consequences, character growth, especially with Red Riot. I really, I don't want to say I love this character, but I really love the development this character got, even though I was expecting more, honestly. And with a lot of the talk where I was hearing about this guy gets so much development and just overall his arc going, I expected more. I don't know. I was thinking something maybe different in my head, but overall I liked it. I thought it was great, especially with the teamwork that he had with, especially with Murio's teammate Tomika, I believe his name is Tomika. And Tomika, that character, his quirk, whatever he eats, and he can like manifest, like he eats octopus. He has tentacles. Fantastic. Love it. I love the imagination in this show. I hate the second half though. Second half. I barely got through it, guys. I mean, not only did it feel super filler, and especially when you got the school festival going, this is where I'm gonna go on a rant. The first half was great, solid. I think it stretched a little bit too much. I think you could have squashed that down a little bit. The overall ending of that first half, the villain overhaul was really, I mean, I thought he was a great villain. I thought he was really menacing. But the second half, when you have Gentle Criminal in that second half, man. I should probably talk about Eddie real quick. And I thought Eddie was okay in the first half. I thought she was, just kind of like a plot device, honestly. But that's what heroes do. They go and save people. So Eddie in the second half was fine. But wanting Eddie to smile in a school festival, how many times have we seen something go down in a school festival? How many times have we seen the school festival in animes? And how many times have we seen characters that we follow? Everybody goes, you could sing. Go ahead and sing, baby. Do it. The pacing was just absolutely horrendous. The Gentle Criminal arc, just hard to watch. I mean, it really felt like a Bleach. It felt like a Bleach filler. It felt, especially the vampire. I mean, it's been so long since I watched Bleach, but that vampire kind of arc, that's what it felt like. It felt like a Bleach filler. Now, Bleach fillers are not as bad as Naruto Shippuden or Naruto itself fillers, but the problem with some of the Bleach fillers, and some of the Bleach fillers are good, but some of the Bleach fillers, like the one I'm talking about, is boring. I didn't care about Gentle Criminal. I didn't care about the school festival. I just didn't care. I've seen it so many times. It really had a halt to the series. Like, it was on the run. That first half, like, it was definitely grooving, it was jogging. It was about to do that full sprint. But then freaking second half comes along and you need a Diet Coke. You're laying on the ground with your stomach just absolutely. That's the problem what I have with Boku No Hero Academia Season 4 is, yes, it's great. It's entertaining. The fights are great. The overall progression of the characters are good. But when you go on to the second half and then you just... However, the saving grace of the season to me was the finale. I thought the finale was fantastic. It has to do with Endeavor, and he's the number one, He's the number one hero right now. Endeavor. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. He's trying to make things right with his family when he's just been so terrible with his family, especially Todoroki. And especially the mom. Especially the mom. Is there really any saving grace to this guy? And I think the finale really showcased who this character wants to be. I think it's a little bit too late. I still think you can't really run away from all the things he did to this family. But he shows why he's a badass. He shows why he's the number one hero at this point, since All Might has early retirement going on. The finale was like a real great step up, but the problem, it was the season finale, and there's so much story after that episode. But before that, was cringeworthy. I just couldn't do it, guys. But the finale really kind of makes it up. So this season wasn't overall amazing, but it was very entertaining. Now, some of the things I liked about the season 2 is a lot of the interactions with a lot of different kind of characters, but also the new characters that are being introduced, and some of the cards that have been played in here. There was a lot of twists in here that I didn't really see too much coming. I don't know about this Hawks guy. I think he's pretty badass. He teams up with Endeavor. The way he operates is really cool, and I really like his overall design. And then you kind of see a lot of the different kind of heroes in the rankings of it, so I thought that was really cool as well. Eddie was definitely a plot device, and I thought the rescue arc was, I like to call it I'm calling it the rescue arc. I thought it was entertaining. The only problem I had with it is it just needed to shorten it up a little bit. It just needed to take away a couple of these episodes. I think this could have been a nice 13 episode season, but they really stretched it out to 24, especially with that second half. They didn't need that school festival, but of course, people love that kind of shit. The second half brought this one funny ass line with Minato where he's like, oh, my character design is so, like, there's one particular thing he has to do and he says my character design doesn't allow me to do it. He says that outright, and I thought that was a great, like, just absolutely hilarious line. Now, the Deku and All Might relationship, I think what is super solid with this, with Boku No Hero Academia too, is the teacher and pupil aspect of it. All Might is a character who I didn't see. I don't think the first movie where he goes to America, but he's a mysterious character to me at this point. Like he has a past. You want to know more of him, just him. You see all the heroic stuff, but past, people, the past avatars, I like to say, who've had this power. All Might and Deku in this season doesn't disappoint. I really love their interactions. I really love when the anime puts these two together. There's one particular episode that showcases the relationship, the secret, but this person understanding like this is the future. So All Might, in my opinion, I think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die sooner or later. It just seems like that's the route they would go, because every anime and manga usually goes that route, but I'm hoping not. Before I was like, that's fine, but now I'm just like, let it be. I hope he survives to see Deku become the greatest superhero of all time. Deku, still, he's my boy, but he's, in my opinion, not the most interesting character out of this Boku No Hero Academia. He has All Might's power. It's really, it's a slow burn. He's barely learning it. I think he'll become a more kind of interesting character as he kind of grows a little bit. He doesn't become as, let's say, he's never really too shy, but he's never too overall. He's just not, he doesn't leave an imprint, right? He says what all protagonists have to say in order to win the day. And I think that's one of the problems I have with it too, is I never feel on edge when it comes to Deku, Bakugo, or any of his classmates. This is the new Dragon Ball. This is the new anime. Is it the greatest anime I've ever seen? Long running anime too? No, it's not. But it's one of the most entertaining, and I really do look forward to the next season. And if they were to release another movie, I'd go watch it, even though I didn't necessarily like the last movie. I'm very curious to see. Well, my curiosity is going into the future is overall Aries' role to play. Mirio, I think this is a really solid character. I want to see more of him and a little bit of his team too. More teamwork. I didn't get as much teamwork as what I will say about the movie is the teamwork in there was phenomenal, fantastic. Love that aspect of that movie. But this season, I feel like it was a little bit of a letdown after watching that. I want a little bit more unique kind of teamwork, more uniqueness, or just overall more of it. But I didn't necessarily get that. I did a little bit of the first half. The second half, you could say that's teamwork with the school festival. But my God, just burn it all to the ground, please. I think the first half really kills it, and then the second half destroys it. It could have been better in my opinion, but it could have been, you could have shortened the season. I don't know if the school festival was in a manga or not, but shorten up the season if that's the case. I mean, I know cha-ching is usually the goal with everything, but if you want good storytelling and you can't really stretch it out that much, then just shorten up the season. Thank you for watching the video. If you like, you could push that like button or subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I am here to cover more anime. Promised Neverland is probably next on the list. I hope you guys are staying safe, stay healthy, and once again, guys, you guys have a good one. This is Danny's son, and I am